Well, I'll be honest, my first video on this topic aged like milk. I was still holding out hope for Ghost of Yotei to at least be a decent game, and it won't be hard to beat the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, but we all know that it's far from the bar for a game that will sell enough copies.
Know your fucking place, trash!
Last time I talked about Yotei, I was holding out hope that the game wouldn't push a political message despite its lead actress being a very vocal political activist. However, as I'm sure you've heard, if you've been paying attention, she's not the only one under Sucker Punch who has made her politics known, and painfully so. And for the record, have whatever politics you want. I really don't care if you're some whack job feminist, or whether you're gay or trans or whatever, that's your business. You can have your opinions and I'll have mine, but I will however talk about a group of radicals taking over a franchise and a company built with entertainment in mind first, having politics put into their very brand. And I will cast my judgment when the death of a public figure is celebrated by people within your gaming company. Things are about to get way too serious for the rest of the video. You know who's to blame. But a senior developer at Sucker Punch was recently fired over a tweet essentially mocking the death of Charlie Kirk the day that happened, with radio silence about the situation to the public. Typically, you know, business is business, but this was overt. To me, the fact that there wasn't an open condemnation of this in a post by Sucker Punch shows me that this company is one of many under Sony overtaken by activists. Whether they were always that way, who knows, whatever. That's the state of it now. All they had to do was openly condemn this celebration of the death of a father and two kids that happened in a post by a developer working at their studios, but of course, they don't really feel that way, do they? Instead, it seems all too clear that Sucker Punch, by their silence to anyone wanting to have such conversations, deserves to die. I don't care where you stand politically, that's fucked. Something I probably should have expected, but am surprised about, was Roger Clark, the motion capture actor for Arthur Morgan, made a tweet in support of the actress. I just saw this headline and I wanted to read this article for myself. The following was not scripted. Ignore them! They're insignificant. Arthur Morgan's voice actor backing Ghost of Yotei's female lead is how we know that the game is set to outshine even Tomb Raider. What an interesting title. Let's get into it. After the recent announcement of Ghost of Yotei, a much anticipated sequel to the beloved Ghost of Tsushima, the gaming community has been buzzing with so much excitement and anticipation. Maybe if you go on that side of Twitter and Blue Sky. From the small glimpses shown in the announcement trailer, the sequel is poised to redefine action-adventure gaming. Yeah, right. With its compelling narrative, stunning visuals, and engaging gameplay. However, the debut of the female lead Atsu, replacing Jin Sakai, has also sparked an unexpected wave of criticism. Right, totally unexpected. Directed at even her voice actress. Oh, how dare you. So who is this voice actress? Oh, there it is. Fueled by a vocal minority, has even prompted Roger Clark, the voice behind Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, to step in to provide his much-needed perspective on the matter. Yeah, we'll get into that in a moment. So in case you were wondering who this actress is, I'm Antifa, so is my wife. This is your lead actress. Hey, Sucker Punch! Seems like your girl is a terrorist. What's that say about Ghost of Yotei? And some of you may know that Antifa has recently been declared a terrorist organization, so technically, the lead actress of the new Ghost of Yotei game is a terrorist. Well, whether you believe that or not, I certainly do. But with this kind of Twitter presence, these kind of views, I wonder once again how this is going to affect the game. I mean, coinciding with the fact that there's other developers at the studio, like this person here, you know, you kind of wonder where this game is going. But let's get back to Roger Clark. The rise of a strong female protagonist in Ghost of Yotei. Yeah, not helping their case. In recent years, the video game industry has shifted rapidly. Titles like Horizon Zero Dawn and The Last of Us Part 2 have emerged and shown that female protagonists can be just as compelling and relatable as their male counterparts. Ah yes, of course, because female protagonists did not exist in video games prominently prior. Why is it so rare to have a woman leading a game? Well, it's not rare, and as much as they try and gaslight you, it's not. Players are now criticizing and judging the voice behind Atsu, who, I'm not saying this name, I'm gonna butcher it. Not that terrorists deserve such respect. Who is a renowned voice actress with a great track record of compelling performances. After seeing the horrible criticism, even Roger Clark raised his voice in support of Ishii and Atsu, dismissing the vocal minority and raising awareness. You know, just your typical gaslighting of these game journalist companies. But what exactly did Roger Clark say? I haven't seen one complaint about playing as a female protagonist. All I see are reactions to the complaining. Once again, a minority of gamers that are amplified through calculated clickbait and rage interaction. Ignore them. They're insignificant. Enjoy the game. You know, it just doesn't seem that way to me. I mean, there's Geeks and Gamers, but you know, they're all a bunch of racist bigots anyway. There's Yellow Flash, who's been talking about the game. Hey, look at that. 470,000 is very dark. You know, it's kind of disappointing because I kind of enjoy watching Roger Clark play a bit of Red Dead 2, and I think he did a good performance. Just this tweet it's just so tone deaf. Once again, a minority of gamers are being amplified for calculated clickbait and rage interaction, as if this isn't how the internet has always worked. Particularly complaining about clickbait and rage interaction, it's just the nature of the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But you know, some of these shorts have showed up of him playing the game himself, and it's been kind of fun to watch over the past, couple months, I guess. This is turning out to be a lot of people in the industry. Here's the thing. If it wasn't for the company's response to what happened to Charlie Kirk, or rather lack thereof, after firing one of their people, like no statement after that, it rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm not alone in this. As much as people want to say, oh, this is a minority of gamers that are, like, you're just alienating half of your audience at that point. But let's get back to reading this shitty article. Many players are in support and trying to be positive about the situation. These comments show that the players are interested in the game and want to see how Atsu will continue the game's legacy. However, some players are upset about the change of protagonist. Not because the protagonist is female, thank you. I don't know, like the game could maybe be good. It's just not, like I'm not taking my chances. There's just so many signs here that it's just red flags all over. As the gaming industry continues to diversify, titles that showcase strong female leads will only continue to gain traction. In a way, Tomb Raider, with its iconic female protagonist Lara Croft, paved the way for other titles. So they'll talk about, oh, Tomb Raider exists, oh, Samus exists, oh, all these other women characters exist, but you know, we don't have enough. We need more women characters. And what they mean by that is they want more ugly women characters. You can say that's some weird conspiracy or something, but we've seen this play out. I mean, over the past decade, we've seen this play out. As the game inches closer to release, sometime in 2025, the gaming community should also learn to accept this change. Just like Roger Clark explained, the complaints from the minority should not overshadow the excitement surrounding a game that promises to push boundaries on every front. You know, very activist, especially here, pushing boundaries. I'll be honest, I don't know fandom wire all that much. Seems like your typical game journo speak. In the end, despite all the backlash and criticism, players are excited about the game's release, and as always, one thing is certain. It is important to judge a performance after watching its quality rather than creating opinions beforehand. And that's the thing, I'm not creating my opinions beforehand. I mean, I'm really not, but there's so many things going into this release that are just mind-boggling. Like, how do you get a sequel to such a successful game as Ghost of Tsushima? I mean, it wasn't like Red Dead Redemption 2 by any means. It didn't reach that level of popularity, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. This game really looks like it's pushing a message over anything else. And of course, we don't know that, but there's a lot of things alluding to the people that are in this company. And if we're going to judge this based on patterns, there's a good chance that it's going to be not very good. And saying that is not racist, as much as they want to continue to highlight that. I love Asian women, okay? Lead actress, far from my type, but, you know, it's not about that. What is your most anticipated game for 2025? You know, that's a great question. Fucking none of them.
I want to be ninja. I want to be ninja.
Well, it's now September 19th, and we now hear through a third party that Sucker Punch did have a response in an interview last Monday. I just heard about this one from Smash GT, figured I'd give it a screen record and show some of it to you. I draw about the same conclusions on it anyway. Also, it gives me less to do.
This comes to us from Stephen Totilo, former Kotaku journalist. I spoke to Sucker Punch's Brian Fleming about the Ghost of Yotei Studios quarter-century PlayStation relationship. We did the interview last Friday, which he corrects and says he meant to say Monday. Sucker Punch had just fired an artist who posted a joke about the Charlie Kirk killing. Now, I want to make sure we focus this right here, mask off right away. You can tell just by reading between the lines on how they approach it. Who posted a joke? How about instead of framing it saying it was a joke, how about framing it saying who posted a disgusting comment spitting on the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Oh, that doesn't sound as pleasant, does it? I had to ask about it and expected a no comment. Look at him. I had to ask about it. Like his hand was forced, guys. He didn't want to do it, but he had to. Making light of someone's murder is a deal breaker for us. If it was just that, I'd say, wow, okay, Sucker Punch might not be as woke as many thought it was. Now, I might want to hear them out. But unfortunately, I got some bad news for you guys. That's not the case with what's happening here. One, this is from Monday. There has been no official statement on social media since the firing, hoping that it would be swept under the rug. And it wasn't. And the fact that they just glazed over it and pretended like nothing happened and didn't publicly talk about it is a terrible look. Because all that tells the public is they're doubling down on their stance that they had to do it because the company would probably be canceled from the consumers if they didn't. But they didn't want to do it. And they didn't want to make a statement about it because deep down, they feel the same way. And they just don't want people to know that. So they just want people to forget about it and move on from it. That's at least the way I took it.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Things are getting crazy out there. Because I don't want to end on such a dark note, I'll leave you with some wise words. Every day, stand guard at the door of your mind. These were radicals that did this. Remember that. It was a radical person who killed Charlie Kirk, and there's radical people working within their company. Don't become a radical yourself. Use logic and reason. And don't be afraid to ask tough questions. Shout out to Smash GT. Hope it's alright that I screen recorded that to use in this video. Appreciate your work if you stumble upon this. Thanks to my viewers for your support. Be well. And to anyone who's new, hope I'll catch you later.
Хорошо, very good. But do not rest easy just yet, huh?